Hey guys, my name's Skippy from Geek Hammer Gaming. I'm here to talk about more faction focused reviews. We are busting through these as fast as we can to get ready for 10th edition. I am excited to play games and get models on the table with the new rules. But they keep giving me teasers and I gotta wait. I don't want to wait anymore. Waiting's for chumps. Today we're talking about the Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, the regular humans who hold the darkness back against the eldritch horrors from another dimension, the aliens trying to eat their brains, and from the chaos heretics who tried to subvert their will. We are going to look at everything Astra Militarum today that they showed us, get a good look at how the army is basically going to play. It feels like we just got their book because we did. So the army, I think, is pretty fleshed out to where it was at that point, and we're not going to see a lot of difference, but I like the way they cleaned a lot of things up for the Guard. So we're going to look at their army rule, which is voice of command. So commands are orders that officers can give to units to give them extra abilities. They yell at them so much that they step in line and do what they're told, which I, first of all, love that idea. Very fluffy, very good rule. So the idea is any officer can issue commands. The officer's data sheet will tell you how many commands it can issue, and it can issue it to anybody within 6 inches of them. Until the start of your next command phase, they're under that order and they get whatever ability buff they get from being yelled at. If you issue, you can't stack them though. So if you issue a second one to the same unit, the old one gets replaced with the new one. That might be important for certain things that happen in sequence in your turn. You can't figure it out and you're just, whatever, however it works. If you need to replace one you already did, you can. So the options you can give are move, which is a plus 3 inches to your move characteristic, which gets them flying. Fixed bayonets, which gives you an extra weapon skill characteristic to your melee weapons. So plus 1 to hit is always good in melee when you need to lay down some hurt. Take aim, which is plus 1 ballistic skill for range weapons, also really good since they're known for carrying their guns and not really for coming in and punching people. First rank fire, second rank fire, which improves the attacks characteristics of rapid fire weapons by 1, so you get an extra shot. Really good when you need to lay down a mass fire. Take cover, which improves your save characteristic by 1, but it can't go better than 3+, so no shenanigans there with that. And then duty and honor, improve the leadership and objective control characteristic of models in this unit by 1. So you need them to stand proud on an objective. That's your way to go. They're about to take a lot of losses. Well, the leadership will help you with that. So that's the hope. All these army rules are great additions to any unit, which makes them a lot more effective than they are now. Because regular guardsmen are average. They're your average humans. But these things give them options to be able to be better than they are and effective on the battlefield in whatever way you need them to be, since you get to pick every turn. I love orders. It's always been a good way they've done it in this last couple editions, and I hope this works out the way they need them to for their army. So let's take a look at the Cadian shock troops. These are your basic infantry troops. Now, the top part there is how you can load them out. It's a lot of different options. The basic idea is you can take a 10-man or 20-man unit, but if you take a 20-man, you actually get to take 2 sergeants. So you have the unit composition of 1 sergeant and 9 regular dudes, or you double that and have 2 sergeants and 18 regular dudes. Interesting way to handle that. That's more like not even AOS does that kind of thing where you get a second leader. So I'm wondering if that's going to be more common in some other armies. We'll find out. And this unit can have 2 leaders attached to it. So you can actually put like 2 different officers attached to them, which is great. That means you can take a 20-man unit, attach a couple characters to them, and have them up in the front of the battlefield to be able to help dish out orders to other people around you or to their own unit. So super fan of that. That makes it a lot better. We got a lot of weapon options here. Nothing here is too special. Like the las gun is exactly what you think it is. 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, hit on 4, string 3, AP nothing, 1 damage. Nothing really crazy there. We get to see the Melta profile again. Las pistols, plasma guns, all weapons we've seen before. The chainsword is interesting for the sergeant, where it's the exact same profile as a close combat weapon. You just get 2 extra attacks with it, essentially. So, interesting way to handle that. So their core ability is Shock Troops. At the end of your command phase, if this unit is within range of an objective marker you control, that objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within range of it until an opponent controls it at the start of end of any turn. So sticky objectives, so your guys don't have to camp in the back if you're not afraid of people jumping over you and grabbing them from behind you. They can do their job, move up, and sacrifice themselves to the greater good. Wait, wrong army. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. Uh, on top of that, they have a cool warrior ability. So if you take a Foxcaster, each time they are targeted with a stratagem, roll d6, adding 1 to result if there are 1 or more friendly officer models within 6, and on a 5+, you gain a CP. So every time you issue them an order on a 5+, you get a CP. If you got an officer attached, you get a 4, not even attached, an officer near them, you get it on a 4+. I love it. CP regeneration is a great way for Astra Militarum to deal more damage when they're buffing their guys up. Because as you look at their data sheet, it's very below average. Movement 6, T3, 5-up save. Ooh, 5-ups are tough. 1 wound, leadership 7, 2 objective controls. So your basic infantry troops aren't going to do much unless you give them these buffs. So between getting your CP to give them stratagems to make them better, with orders to give them +1 to hit or whatever, you can actually do some damage with these guys. Love it. So let's take a look at some data sheets now. That's a Baneblade. I don't know if you know this. That's a Baneblade. All right. Movement 9, toughness 13, 2-up save, 24 wounds. Oof. It's a lot of wounds to chew through. Leadership 7, objective controlled 8. I love that these big tanks have a giant objective controlled. They're scary as hell, okay? Gone are the days when one troop holds an objective over a tank. If I had one, even say, Space Marine on an objective, that tank owns that objective. He's going to run up, he's going to slash it, he's going to punch it, but he ain't going to do anything. That tank owns that objective. I don't care what the Space Marine has to say, and I love that they kind of fixed that in the new edition. So, the Baneblade has a flurry of ranged weapons. Baneblade cannon is blast, okay? 72-inch range blast. 3d6. So not only 3d6, you get +1 to hit for every 5 guys in the unit. Oof. Hitting on 4s, strength 12, -2, 3 damage. Now, I'm assuming that there's going to be tank commands as well. So that's the hope, that tank commander can actually give them +1 to hit. We'll see if that works, but that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Anything that's like 3 wounds, like Terminators, are oof. That's wow. Coaxial autocannon, 48 inches, 2 attacks, hit it on 4s, strength 9, -1, 3 damage, and more 3 damage attacks. Man, these 3 damage infantry are going to be wrecked by this thing. Demolisher cannon, which is 24 inches, d6 +3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 14, -3 d6 damage. Again, there's a lot of d6 going around right now between Necrons and a couple other things that we've seen. So I'm hoping that this doesn't more of the feel bads in like 8th edition with all the d6 when they moved everything to d3 +3 or something like that. Or 2d3. I'm hoping that d6 doesn't feel bad on the randomness scale. Heavy stubber, which is nothing special. Las cannon, which we've seen the profile for that before. Twin heavy bolter, which has sustained hits and twin linked. Nice. And the twin heavy flamer, ignores cover torrent, twin linked, which is reroll wounds. D6 attack, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. So that's a heavy flamer, yo. And then in combat, not great, but 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 8, AP 0, 1 damage. So it can actually do a little bit of damage in combat, but nothing nothing write home about. It can take care of a couple of dudes. So it's got deadly demise, D6 +2. Big bada boom. Rolling Fortress. Each time a ranged attack is allocated to Astra Militarum model in your army. If that model is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this Baneblade model, that unit gets cover. So the Baneblade gives cover to your dudes. That's hilarious. I love it. You can actually run up with dudes behind the Baneblade, and the Baneblade will actually protect them a little. And then -1 to hit if it gets hurt. So cool vehicle. I love it. All these big vehicles seem great. It all comes down to points. It's too expensive. We won't run it. But like all these big tanks have great rules, and I love the roles they play in their armies. Like all these core abilities for each data sheet has been cool so far. We'll see if they're all cool because they're showing us the best of the best, but who knows. So next up, we're going to look at a couple guns that are on tanks. So the Lemurus Battle Cannon is Blast, 48 inches, D6 plus 3 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 10, -1, 3 damage. More 3 damage attacks. These guys are going to be real good at doing multiple hits on tanks and making them make a lot of saves. And they're also going to be really good at taking out those 2 to 3 wound infantry like Marines. Like they're going to do some hurt on those guys with that damage 3 profile. Now the Volcano Cannon. This is funny. This is blast and heavy. So not only do you get the blast, the extra hits, but it is heavy. So if you stand still, you get +1 to hit. It's very important on this guy. 96-inch range, so a couple tables over. D3 +1 attacks, so low attacks. On average, you're going to get 2.5, 3. You're going to get 3 attacks on average. Hitting on 4s, but remember it's heavy, so you get +1 to hit. Strength 24. That's a lot. That's a lot of strength. That's wounding T12 tanks on 2s. Oof. I have a feeling Knights are going to be T12, so that's a big deal. That's a gigantic deal. -5 and 12 damage. As a Tau enjoyer, I cannot wait to see how the rail cannon is statted, but this is a big this is nuts. This is like if Knights end up still at 24 wounds like they were before, like 2 failed saves from Volcano Cannon is death to a Knight. Or if they have the same wounds for like the for the little guys, the Armigers or the War Dogs, that's 1-shot death to a War Dog. That's a lot of damage. Some of these anti-tank guns are ridiculous, and I love it. Let's go ahead and look at a stratagem. So we're talking about reinforcements. There is no end to the amount of human bodies you can grind under the gears of the enemy to clog up their tracks. All right. So you get to target 1 regiment unit from your army that was just destroyed. You can use the stratagem on a unit that, even though it was just destroyed. So as soon as somebody dies, target them. Now, regiment units are usually your regular dudes like Cadian shock troops, your foot troops, your non-specialists, non-officers, and stuff like that. Add a new unit to your army identical to destroyed units in strategic reserves and its starting strength and with all its wounds remaining. So you just get all your dudes back. That's cool. So you're talking about something like maybe Kazarkin or Scions or even your regular like 20-man Cadian shock troops with all your special weapons to be able to blow people away. Now, it does restrict you that you can't get your characters back. That's totally fair. But if you get 20 models back for 2 CP, that's a lot of bodies all of a sudden. And in strategic reserve, so you can come in off the side, go charge an objective. Like, I love it. Feels really good for guard. It means that you can keep bringing guys back, and then guard are usually pretty good at gaining extra CP. We've already seen the one ability on the Cadian shock troops data sheet. So I'm a big fan, my guys. So that's going to do it for our guard review for today. I can't wait to see how they play as well. Is this going to be another horde army, or are you going to be running tanks? Like, it feels like they want to make it so you can run these guys any way you want. And the way the commands work is you'll be able to make any of your guys better than they normally are. So thank you guys for coming out. I'll be back tomorrow with another faction focus review, and I'll see you guys next time.